Salam Allah, peace, peace. Peace to the family. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, hotep. Peace on these streets, please. We need some peace on these streets for real, family. You know what I mean? You know, we gotta stop these young brothers from practicing genocide and menocide on themselves. You know what I mean? It's like the old school rap song, self-destruction, like Kumo D said, I never ever ran from the Ku Klux Klan, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man. Because that's self-destruction, family. You know what I mean? But today we're going to build on the cipher very briefly on the 7 dimensions of yourself. I'm going to take you to this lesson from Master Muhammad from 1933 called the 99 Actual Facts, the actual factors to the actual facts. The actual factor explains to us that the black man's mind has 7 dimensions: the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. So we're going to look at each one of those dimensions in the manifestation of your lowest and highest self, and how understanding that dimension you can elevate to the next and go from the physical to the will of God. You can go from poverty to wealth, from sickness to health, from hatred to love, from death to life. Let's get into it. All right, family. So let's build on these 7 dimensions of self, 7 mind dimensions. You know what I mean? The realm that we're on right now is the realm of what in Arabic is called Sakin. That's God in person. We say that Allah, God, came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. That's the physical plane. Contrary to popular belief, that is not the highest form of man or self. The highest form is the will. The highest form is the mind. The physical form is manifested so that man can communicate through the electromagnetic field, because there are electromagnetic forces operating in your brain, in your heart, in your central nervous system. Every atom in your being operates off of electromagnetic fields. We may not be conscious of it, but all life forms in the oceans are underwater. Positive and negative charges are in that water, but that water reaches a state of ma'at or balance, and the creatures can live. As human beings in our Sakin or in person form, we walk on a planet that has an atmosphere that is 6 miles high. We're walking in water. We call it air. But the majority of this air, 78% of it, is nitrogen. The elements that perpetuates life in the universe is hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. Those are the 4 primary base elements. We got traces of everything else. And the mathematics of these elements is what produces the atoms and the attraction, the magnetic attraction of those atoms. Hydrogen atoms, carbon atoms, nitrogen atoms, oxygen atoms. They form cells. And these tiny little cells have electromagnetic forces that attract their opposites and connect cell to cell. And eventually, those mathematical cells being multiplied produces eyes, nares or nose, tongues, ears, hands, sex organs, feet, a heart, kidneys, liver, spleen, bones. We came out of the earth. Our bones are stones. Our flesh is nothing but the vegetation. Our blood is nothing but seawater. It's salt water. Our blood is water. Our flesh is vegetation. Our bones are crystals, that's stones. And there are electromagnetic forces that bring all the organs together to operate so the brain can communicate with the heart. It can send a signal. You step on somebody's toe, the signal goes and it gets right down there. It'd be like, ow! The mouth will send a sound wave about 1,120 feet per second. But that's the Sakine, that's the person. That's the limit. That's the low form of limitations. That's the black man in person. So Master Fard Muhammad teaches us that we have 7 mind dimensions: the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. I'm about to pull up to the crib, so we're going to go down in the studio and continue this build in my office real quick. Inshallah, Sakine, if it be the will of the God in person. Salam alaikum. Let's take a pause. Oh, before we forget, make sure y'all click the subscribe button so we can get this thing on and popping the way it's supposed to be and stop these devils from stopping these raw teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad reaching your ear. You know we only gonna give you that raw stuff. And you know how we be. Only the messenger's message can guide you through this age of mess. All right, let me take care of a few things and I'll get right back to y'all. The struggle continues. Okay, family, we're back. Now, I'm sharing with y'all a little jewel from the library, from the secret vaults of the Supreme Angels. A book titled Mind Power. Now, the reason why I love this particular book, it basically teaches you, say you're in a physical fight, for example. Say you got jumped by 3 guys. The average person would just get beat up. But when you dealing with that Supreme Angel power, this is like rookie stuff. Say someone had a gun to the back of your brain. The average person is like, oh, I'm dead. To a Supreme Angel, he or she is 1,000% confident that the gun that is at their head is going to be in their hand. They just have to decide it's going to be my right hand or my left hand. Elementary stuff for these mere mortals. The black man is God. So I'm going to drop a little jewel on y'all. And basically, remember, time is created by motion. The message teaches us Theology of Time, 1972, time is created by motion. The masters teach that time is created by motion. Yeah. Now, I don't have time to go into all this, but what I'm going to do, I'm not promoting one particular book because I personally believe you should study everything you can. Now, I've read thousands of books, but the thing about it is the principles here boils down to 2 principles. And I'm going to share with y'all page 140 of those 2 basic principles. But let me just read the front and back of this. It's from the best-selling author Secret Tactics, Kazumi Tabata, Mind Power, Secret Strategies for the Martial Arts. Achieving Power by Understanding the Inner Workings of the Mind by Tuttle. Now, say somebody studied martial arts for, say they became a master. They was studied 40 years, they a black belt, whatever. A rookie can get rid of them in like maybe 8 seconds with 1 bullet. So all that training don't mean anything if you have the element of surprise. Your mind power looks beyond that. Now, like if you have a $50 million tank and I had $5 worth of gasoline, you would lose. As George Jackson put it, if you had a Navy SEAL, well-trained, and he got his assault rifles, whatever, but he don't understand how the planet operates, that no matter who you are, 3 a.m. is any soldier's weakest point. So you could get rid of them with a razor blade from the dollar store out of a disposable razor. I seen it in the Belly of the Beast, trust me. Elementary stuff. Know what I mean? Now let's look at the back of this from the master. Life is full of adversities. There can come a time when education, social status, fame, fortune, and even family ties will become useless. At a decisive moment like this, the ability to focus one's total essence, to harness one's total spiritual and mental energy. Notice he separates the spiritual from the mental, just like Master Muhammad in 99 Actual Facts, is required for survival and success. In this book, Master Kazumi Tabata shares his knowledge in how to achieve this goal. When beginning martial arts training, students study physical techniques. Only after much time and intense practice can these techniques become automatic or natural. Yet, there is a higher level where you feel one with yourself, your opponent, and with nature itself. That's the key, family. Time is created by motion. It goes on to explain your opponent moves in slow motion. See, I don't know if you experienced that, but it's real deep. Like, say 3 dudes jumping out the car. All of them got 40 calibers. You're unarmed. They're pointing their guns at you and they're pulling the trigger. You see the bullets coming out the gun. I mean, with your physical eye, you see the bullets, but with your mental eye, you see the bullets. Your God eye, your pineal gland, your third eye is also seeing it. And since you fear no one but Allah, your thing is, if you got the drop on me, if I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm a black man. I could never die. Huh? You don't believe in death, so you're not afraid. If you die, you just transform. You're like, all right, my bones go back to stone, my flesh go back to vegetation, you know, my blood go back to water, know what I mean? And my ideas, those determined ideas live after my physical body. They'll go into the youth, poof, poof, poof. And it's not a ghost that'll come out my body, but my thoughts will continue to travel because, again, thoughts do not become things. I keep telling y'all that thoughts are things. My thoughts, my last thought, Allahu Akbar. And you know what happens? That idea, that determined idea, will go travel to some young boy. It might go through Instagram, it might go through Facebook, Twitter, it might go through a newsletter, one of my books, one of my old tapes, old video or something. It may go through word of mouth from a student that I taught 18 years ago, and something inside this other new being, an old man, an old woman, a beautiful sister, a raggedy brother, a young brother. And for some reason, I just get this instinct to take revenge for me. This is the power of the gods we're talking about here. So the book goes on to explain, yet there is a higher level where you feel one with yourself, your opponent, and with nature itself. Your opponent moves in slow motion. You move without thought, and you are unbeatable. You be like, devil, I got on an armor of God, 7 mind dimensions, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. This is what I want. Forget these corny behind devils. Forget that imps, the impersonators, the black wannabes that want to sell out the struggle. I want Satan himself. I want to see Satan himself. I want Satan to strap up. I want Satan I want the one that the messenger said, whose evil's effect does not only affect himself, but it affects others. I want the most powerful devil of all devils. I want you to take all your trillions of dollars, your nuclear bombs. I want you to take your COINTELPRO program. Call on your FBI, your CIA, your Navy SEALs, your sellouts. I want your snitches, your best snitches. I want you to use your RICO Act, whatever you got. Take all your arsenal and shoot that at me. And watch it bounce off. Bing, 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 bing. Why? Because of one man. I'm going to show you a picture of this dude. You want to see him? Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Teacher of freedom, justice, and equality. You cannot defeat Master Fard Muhammad or Messenger Elijah Muhammad. You're corny behind tactics. Listen, I'm FOI. I'm telling y'all, I'm not waiting on the mother plane. I don't need no mother plane. I don't believe the Elijah Muhammad still physically alive. I don't need the Elijah Muhammad to be physically alive. All I need is the knowledge of myself from Master Fard Muhammad, the Supreme Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom royal praises are due forever. Knowing that basic lesson, the 5%, the poor righteous teachers. I ain't got no money. I'm able to pay my bills because, you know, I take money from the devil. Spooky ones. Yeah, I know how to make it happen. I always been, you notice I'm never broke. So I never look up in the sky for any mystery God to answer my prayers. You know what I mean? My thing is, God toss me down a shovel, toss me down a bag of seeds, and I'll plant the field. I'll go to work. Know what I mean? Ain't no problem with hard work. I would work at McDonald's. I'll scrub toilets. I'll mop them white man's floors. I'll pick up trash. I'll cut hair. I'll fix cars. I'll work on computers. I'll write my own books. I'll read books. Whatever. Because you think like the God. You know that anything that you put your mind to is going to manifest. Anything. I don't care what it is. This studio in my house was a thought in my mind, and $250,000 later is right here in reality. Nothing spooky. I never prayed to a mystery God. Never prayed to Jesus. Never prayed to a mystery Allah. Never prayed to a mystery Yahweh. None of that. I mean, curse that mystery God out. But I kept my consciousness, kept my mind's eye on the Supreme Allah God who came in the person of the Master Fard Muhammad, to my praises due forever. All right, let's look at this book real quick. Okay, so in Mind Power, and I don't want you thinking that I'm telling you to order the book and read. You would not, this would make no difference to you whatsoever. The reason why it's helpful to me is because before I opened the book, I opened my third eye. Before I read this book, I knew all my lessons. If you want some power, study your lessons by Master Fard Muhammad and Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Our lessons are our blessings. And then other things mathematically make sense. They can add on, but they won't subtract. All right, so in Mind Power, secret strategies for the martial arts master, Kazumi Tabata, Grand Master in the Shotokan and Shorinji styles of karate, offers his personal teachings as to how martial arts students can reach the point where time seems to slow down. Quick movements are seen in slow motion, and the full potential of one's inner power can be harnessed. I don't know if y'all seen the Denzel Washington movie. It was a crack joint. He had his kufi on and all that. He was on his knee. But the good part that I liked was when he came into the realm of into the Cypher's enemy, he in his head, in his mind's eye, he didn't panic. And he understood how time was an illusion. And he had the ability to make time slow down, or you can make time speed up. It's up to you. That's another power right there. But we're talking about slowing it down right now. You slow it down. So in slowing it down, you be like, okay, the doctor like, oh, you got stage 4 cancer. You're gonna die. You only got 6 months. Okay, doc. In my mind's eye, I'm gonna stretch 6 months into another 60 years. Another 6 years. Huh? What you talking about? Yeah, you don't understand. The black man is God. All right, so let's look at the page 140. Now, here we go. Shiki Soku Z Ku. That's the cause. Ku Soku Z Shiki. That's the effect. The form, cause. Emptiness, cause. Emptiness, effect. Form, effect. This is the Asian way of biting the Asiatic black man, the ancient Kemetic black Egyptian principle of the Kabbalion. Tahuti, thoughts, the mind power, the God of gods, the secretary of the gods. cause and effects, actions and reactions. It's that simple. I know it seems crazy. Like, it cannot be that simple. Cause and effect, actions and react. Come on now, Leaf. You mean to tell me? Yes, it's that simple, family. Know what I mean? It's really that simple. Let me take and turn to the Messenger Elijah Muhammad for a moment about this mind power of ours. Okay, we're coming from the June 18th, 1972 Theology of Time by Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Know what I mean? Now, in the book, our beloved brother, Minister Nazir, he put Minister Hakeem, he put the present 25,000 year cycle in here. Now, I mathematically disagree with the science of this particular calendar, but the principle is correct. Now, I mean, most of it's like 90, I would say 98% correct. You know what I mean? But we have the whole 25,000 year calendar mapped out for you mathematically, but we ain't touching on that today. But the thing that the messenger dropped on us in this is this that's important. And he has it absolutely correct, which I love and respect the brother for. He said, the messenger said, we're going back to our subject. What I'm leading you up to is the theology of time, whereas it was written in a way which you didn't understand. If I happen to get a little weak, I didn't eat any breakfast this morning. Now, this is 1972. Now, I mean, the messenger was born in 1897. So keep in mind that physical plane, the Sakeen. It's not limited to the Sakeen. It's the mental mind of the messenger. Now, I mean, it's the messenger's message that will guide you through the age of mess. The messenger is not going to guide you through the age of mess, family. The messenger is not coming back to do anything. Physically, on a physical plane, family, come on now. If we want this nation to thrive and expand and take over the planet, we have to understand the science here. Now, I mean, it's like, come on. Now, I mean, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I love him to death. I love him to life. Now, I mean, and he did his job. He's doing his job. He's doing more than his job. But he needs, and I need, for you young FY and MGTs to step up to the plate. It's time for y'all to let y'all wings expand and fly throughout the cosmos. Now, I mean, now you have to understand, you're not going to agree with us on everything. So what? Don't worry about that. Allah's going to place in y'all a determined idea, give y'all a whole brand new way of thinking, as we're going to see. Master Muhammad himself is going to guide you. You're not going to need a minister, a captain, or secretary. God himself will manifest himself. The Supreme Allah will manifest himself through you. You might be 8, you might be 18, you might be 28, you may be 48, you may be 68, you may be 108. It makes no difference. Master Farad Muhammad, you're not going to need no middlemen once you take and tune in to the direct and divine teachings of Messenger Elijah Muhammad. The message said we don't take on physical food first. It hinders us from getting the spiritual food. Think that over, family. See, all that spooky stuff. See, a lot of people look at it like the ministers are some holy men, you know, some holy captains, some holy... It's nothing spooky. Trust me. We're in the hells of North America. To build this nation is going to take real ideas, real actions, real thoughts, real deeds. You're going to have to make it happen instead of waiting for it to happen. You can pray all day long. You can wait on Master Farad Muhammad and he look at you like you spooky. He's going to ignore you. He's not going to tune in on you. You spooky. He like, I can't do nothing with that kind of mind, that type of thought, that type of brain. It's still thinking like an 85%er. As the messenger warned in our lesson, 17 ways for the Islamic culture, he said, do not pray as Muslims and continue in Christian ways. You still acting like a goddamn Christian. You switched the cross to the Ankh. I mean, you still spooky. You still looking outside of yourself. You're not taking and harnessing the mind power of the greats. Imagine the mind of Sister Tanetta Muhammad. The mind of Sister Minister Ava Muhammad, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, Noble Ali, you name it. The Pan-Africans, the 5% to Father, Clarence 13X, all of this beautiful, dynamic knowledge, wisdom, and understanding downloaded into your subconsciousness, but you're not using it on a conscious level. You're like, oh, I don't mess with they black, they Hebrew Israelites. Oh, I don't mess, they Jehovah Witness, they Christians. Oh, I don't mess, they college kids. Oh, they're entrepreneurs, they just trying to get money. Oh, them dudes, they on the street, they selling fentanyl. You need all that, family, all that, everything that happens, good and evil, darkness and light, is for Allah's purpose. Your challenge is knowing how to attract the positives and repel the negatives. You need, as the message said, we don't take on physical food first. It hinders us from getting the spiritual food. Deal with the mind. Now let's look at something Master Muhammad dropped on us. Now, since we started from nothing and God himself started from nothing, we're going to something, because the Creator found something more in the darkened circle than he had thought that he would find. He's not here today, that same man, but he laid a base for a wise God to come and get a platform out of his work of self-creating. Once every 25,000 years, there's a new God that's been coming up in the past. So God taught me that wisdom would always run through to about, not exactly, but about 25,000 years. Then they would change and bring in another one. All the gods that ruled, as you didn't know, they ruled by ones and not by just the same one. This is why you are taught God is one. That's right, but it's not the same God. See, you spooky believers nowadays, it's like, come on, we in this age of social media. It's like, if I put up a video about a rapper getting shot, you're there. If I put up a rapper about somebody shaking that butt, you're there. If I pull up in a Bentley and you see the white man's car and I'm throwing $100 bills, you're there. Any negative stuff, anything in the devil's world, anything in that decaying world that we're trying to destroy and get rid of, you'll support that. But when it comes to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, not of me, I'm not teaching you about no Farrakhan, Silas, Jeremiah, Avery. I'm teaching you the knowledge of yourself. I'm trying to empower you so that you can be God of your own cipher. Now, if you walk down the street and you walk too close to a brother or sister, their nature, something in you and something in them is going to be activated for good or evil. They like, whoa, homie, you in my space. It's an aura around you, and I can feel it. I can't physically see it, but I can mentally feel it. You're too close. Back the F up, Joker, what's up? Know what I mean? Or the law of attraction. Damn, know what I mean? Gorgeous, what's up, baby? I mean, boom. She wants you there. He wants you there. You know what I mean? But that's a real thing that operates every single second in our universe. And when you're conscious of it, it helps you to do for yourself. Now, when it comes to this mind power, Dr. Yaqub Malik Shabazz, Yaqub means the changer, Malik means master, and Shabazz means godly or godlike. It don't mean Allah, it don't mean God, but godlike. See, a lot of people like, where's Shabazz? Shabazz came after Allah. Shabazz ain't it. Allah is it. Shabazz ain't all in all. Shabazz is all in all. Shabazz simply means godly, godlike. And the universe thing is, your wish is our command. Now, if you be like, oh, universe, I want to be Shabazz, the universe be like, behold, you're not God, but you're godlike. You're a recessive thought. You're thinking spooky, you know what I mean? But if that's what you want, hey, you got that, homie. It don't make a difference. So Dr. Yaqub could not tune in like Prophet Isa, Jesus. Jesus could tune in because the scientists taught him his lessons and he studied his lessons. Yaqub didn't study his lessons. Yaqub made his own lessons. He taught the devils the forgotten technology. So Yaqub, the message says on page 69, Yaqub was not He was not, family. Yakub was not that type of man either. He could not tune up on the people and tell them what they were thinking about. But this one that I preached to you of, he can tune up on you. You're talking about Master Muhammad now. He can tune up on you and tell you what you're thinking about, and then see if whether or not he wants to stop you from making any progress with that thought or allow you to make progress. So you could think a negative thought. Oh, okay, I'm going to kill this joker. Master Muhammad be like, no, you're not. You like, I got the guns, I got the money, I'm going to do everything. And the bullets will come. And those with the armor of God see the bullets. They see the cold night. They see the setup. They see the devil. They see the cops. They see the FBI, the COINTELPRO. And all that bull, corny crap, that's what Muhammad make it go right around. They be like, oh, what happened? Allah doesn't waste anything in the universe. The problem is the cold knives and the hot bullets that you thought was coming against the 5%, the poor righteous teachers. Master Muhammad is going to use the same cold knives, the same hot bullets, the same dis-ease, the same poverty, the same stress, the same division to fall upon you and your cipher, because you wish harm against the righteous angels of Allah. And those that are enemies of the angels of Allah are enemies of Allah. And though you may plot and plan, Allah is the best of planners. So the messenger says he can tune up on you and tell you what you're thinking about, and then see if whether or not he wants to stop you from making any progress with that thought or allow you to make progress. It depends on how it affects others and yourself. I'm not saying this to make a prophecy for you to carry out. The messenger ain't a prophet, he's a messenger. But I do believe that in about 20 or 30 years, you will be able to do just the same thing. See, the messenger knew in 1972, that by the year 2002, the angels of Allah would be able to tune in and actually see you. See, in our officers manual, a good leader is one that can actually predict the movements of a soldier. See, they be playing checkers all day. Scientists play chess. We play jackals and hounds. We play ancient Kemetic mathematics. So these little corny plots, you be on the tip like, listen, fam, we won before we start. So you just keep doing what you're doing. You keep building how you build. Let's look at another thing about this mind power.